Make a motion that we approve the minute for a regular meeting on July 31st.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Anything further, Michael? No. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public input. Mark.
Surprise. So the only thing I want to bring up now is because there was a couple of meetings, right? With the New Hampshire Lake Smart Program, and we asked whether the town property can be part of that, a voluntary non-regulatory process. We're talking about the boat launch area and at least one access area. The other one is a little bit contentious, whether we should do it or not. I personally don't see any harm in doing it. They actually have schemes on it already during one of the adjoining properties. And the reason I'm asking now is because we do need to get properties on the schedule for September with the Hampshire Lakes. As long as you guys gave us some more thought.
Can you give Mike any information on it, like fact sheets or
they
graphics of what things would look like?
Yeah, well, essentially you go onto New Hampshire Lake Smart and it describes the program. The process is they come and look at the property primarily before things runoff from roofs, runoff from driveways, runoff from properties and septic systems. And what they do is they provide feedback, written feedback, they would come right to probably Mike, with recommendations. If you meet those recommendations, meet it, then you'll probably get certified. And you get a nice little sign for that, the New Hampshire Lakes. So we've had 21 properties to review, 3 people gotten certification, probably another 10 or 12 are working through it. It's really just, it's an educational process. So
this is for the town properties.
yeah, because I mean, they're part of the lake community, so I don't see any reason why they should be an exception myself. King State College, they have done their property.
What is the name of the Lake Smart? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
SMART?
New Hampshire Lake, and the Lake Smart is one.
Oh, wonderful.
Seems like most of those factors aren't really relevant. Some properties are fertilizer. It's not really.
I think where you might find it, you might be runoffs maybe from the parking lot, perhaps, in the boat launch area, or maybe run out from the road, and maybe 32, there is a little bit of burn that's kind of created from, I guess, from plowing and cleaning the road, which kind of prevents the stuff from running directly into the water, which is, would be road salt, would be a concern there. But those other properties are just, the one off of Wilson Pond Road is a grass lane going down. So, I guess want this on the website and take a look and give me your feedback or whatever.
Hearing none. Nominations.
I think as far as here, come up and just introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Martin. Yeah, I live in Swanzey on Dolphin Road. I'm not from here. I'm originally from Arkansas. And I met my husband Ian Hart out in Washington State. Doing wildland fire. And when it was time to raise our family, we decided to move back to New Hampshire to be with his family. And he grew up in the area, so we decided to make Swanzey our home. So I've lived here for about 3 years.
You have a volunteer fire department.
Yeah, a little different than wildland, but I have thought about it. Yeah.
Is he one of Rob's
Yeah.
kids? Nice.
How do you like Swansea?
Great. I mean, there's a reason that I wanted to get involved with the community a little bit more. So like right now, I stay at home with my two young kids. And it can be a little bit hard to get involved with the community that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I have no background in conservation work before I did the wildfire fire. I did Washington Conservation before, and I worked with our county. So I reached out to share what was going on in the community. On election.
Okay, so that. That's.
I had in here, there was an alternate, but it's.
Second. Made seconded. Point. Ending town meeting 2020. Favor say aye.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Maybe this will be running some more stuff,
Yeah, hopefully.
that'd be fantastic.
Under appointments, we have code enforcement officer Mike Chad. Update.
So a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Lee came and addressed the select board. Or is feeling. And I want to come in and just make sure that the select board was where we were. You guys had the letter, that's in Mr. Lee regarding enforcement actions. That feels appropriate for that particular property. Just want to discuss those with you real quick to make sure you guys understood what I was doing, why I was doing it, and the attorney, with your permission, send us just a letter. A couple of things might be not quite perfect for this, so the attorney may say it's another 30 days, 45 days, probably that for the attorney. But I feel comfortable in my position. With the background here, I'm going to post this very quickly. This property was claimed largely from two homeowners for years. And I've gone up different times in the property. Quiets down a little bit and then it picks back up again. This year, when we originally started taking up some flattening material, it came to a head. And we continue to look at the same people who've been seeing me for a long time, expecting me to do something, and rightfully so, and not, so now it's time to try to do something. I'm trying to hope that maybe you can find a different place that the land use, people we ended through zoning boards and stuff, none of that's been applied for, and anything else, any other attempt to move, hasn't occurred yet. There are options, I've outlined them. He's not without options, not without opportunity. And if you want something else. Was quite helpful and necessary. But when that started, it really had to come to an end. I have with me, I have the intend to excavate permit. And we all know that these are honor systems, so you never really know really what it is. And the number that Flatley put on this project was 163,000 cubic yards. I've heard numbers much higher than that, but we went with 163,000 cubic yards. If one were to assume that these are all triaxes and they're all taking 19 yards of triax, that's 8,600 shares. It's 17,000 trips up and down. That's one thing. It's going to be a horrible thing. Probably that nature, but it would be a different thing. And we thought, I think expanded out to the neighbors. Of course, it's also the excavation business. This district, is nice. Not by there. So, they said we'll work with it if he chooses to apply. Those budget things.
All stuff didn't go. I mean,
Almost not for that. Yeah, because after the first bid, he was good, you know. He was in a bad spot, he had signed on a good contract, and his decision found himself in. But it's a business decision, it's not.
so I guess you're saying that this isn't just clean fill for the property, so it's something that he's.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because what you're looking at there is by my calculation, the cartoon. But you know, somebody needs to check out, he may have already gone over the 100,000 square feet area, and now you're into alteration. The rest, and all the activity before, there's been plenty of material, there's been plenty of material leaving, there's been plenty of processing. Like I said, this has been years, and this is the tipping point for a lot of folks to just, you know. He is 100% correct, there were 4 houses built on that property, 3 of them were his home. They all required an awful lot of excavation and dirt and earthwork, no question about it, and a good portion of that was done. 100% true. But it doesn't negate years of trying to work with someone the property with Matthew Bott, and been in there before that and before Matthew in service for the with different issues and different complaints we have. So you know, that's why I'm in this. Question?
Yes, a couple of things. The first thing I think Jeff was upset at, we'll take it in the steps here, is the speeding, that you said that you witnessed some speeding. There was a lot of other trucks up there. Did you actually witness Jeff speeding down that road?
I really don't have to actually say what speeding is.
Because his argument is that that's not him that's going up and down that road with the high speed, and you have that in here.
But I don't have the ability to enforce that. That's why I really like it.
And his other argument was when that whole process started, he didn't get a lot of material at all until it was shut down.
Right.
That whole project was shut down immediately within the first 5 days. He went and put $10,000 because he thought he was approved by the town to do this. And then it was disapproved 5 days after. He put $10,000 worth of work into his road, so these trucks could go in and out of there, and then it was disapproved. So that's where he was upset. Mike mentions that he's processing up there. I went personally, and that processor hasn't been running in 3 years. He doesn't make any material there. That machine and that engine, there's no engine in it. There's not even an engine in that thing. It's a car mounted on a frame, and it crushes stone. Hasn't ran in 3 years. I'm just concerned that we don't have enough evidence. When this was brought to me, it was told to me that there was a petition. I went as a selectman to my Jeff. I said, Jeff, whatever you're doing here, the town's gonna come down on you because it's a petition. He went and I went back and we could find this petition. So Jeff is pretty upset about thinking that the street had a petition on him and they didn't. So he's pretty upset about that. You all heard him say that here. And I'm just repeating and reinforming you on these things. I just feel that there's more evidence of a lot of other stuff going on that road than just Jeff Sabine. I think Jeff Sabine's feeling that he's been pointed out. And he shouldn't be, because it's what's the guy's name? Jay Roy, and they got a house in people. There is a lot of material. Now, there's a lot of neighbors that feel that it isn't Jeff. So all I'm saying is, before we go after this, I think we really need some good evidence of what we have up there. I'd like to just see it be investigated a little more, in my opinion. Then, because right now we have Mike's work. We don't have nobody else's work. This is just strictly for Mike, all of us, right? We're working on Mike. Or do you want neighbors? Well, he did ask, he didn't tell them that you couldn't give it.
Do you not believe that there is one? Do you not believe that I'm doing it? You do not believe it's all right.
Well, I think we could maybe split the difference here and maybe. I don't know, if soften it up's the right word, but to really enforce the fact that he needs a special exception.
Right, and I've had conversations with Jeff and it's that's exception for both.
And I know you're good at walking people through stuff like that, so
Both those different applications.
once he gets that, then it's gold, other than.
Yeah, but I-
Speeding.
I think he's shutting down everything. I think he's not gonna do nothing now, but. And I'm not sitting here just defending, I'm sitting here like I would do to anybody else, you know what I mean, looking at this. And you state there, he's been doing this for years, and so that lays back on you, not anybody else as a code officer. Maybe this should have been addressed 2 years ago.
Even maybe more, and there's, there it is in my letter.
Well, we, as a town, that we let it get out of hand, Mike, I'm sorry, I just think that there's other traffic up there, I don't think that. I think we need to really look at it a little deeper, if it's all Jeff up there moving the gravel, because he doesn't say, I don't think there's big trucks going in and out of his plant, I know what he does for work. I hire him for small jobs, I just don't think it's a gravel pit, you know, what Mike's saying, but if it is, but.
I just want to say, I spoke to the gentleman that or that was to verbally complain as well, so it's not solely the Mike's testimony.
Why doesn't Jeff have access to these people that are complaining, and why did we
We
refuse?
have information in the packet from the New Hampshire Municipal Association. I checked with them on the confidentiality of complaints. And if we don't have a record based on a complaint of a written complaint, there's no document that can request that we can provide. And I don't remember whether the gentleman said it was anonymous or not. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I mean, get Jeff to each other. You know, look at the 10 years I've been doing this. I only remember one person who's had the courage and the courtesy to put his name out of his paper. One. This guy here. This guy here is the only person in this entire community who stood up and said, I don't like this. Not regarding this matter, not regarding this matter. Regarding a different matter. And I really, and Jim comes and sees me, and I'm really, every time I come in, every time I see him, I'm so thankful. This person stood up and said, I don't like this, please do something about it. He's laying on a piece of paper. He's the only one in 10 years who's done that. And I have so much respect that he's willing to do that. Because nobody else is. And it does make my job harder. And if the petition would help, that's fine. I did concede, yes, but here's the thing, I really try hard to work with people as long as I can. And as long as you're sort of seeming to get along, I try to let them, until they're just not. And if you wanna kick me in the keister for that, that's fine, I can live with that. I'm not gonna not try to get people to get along with each other. Not gonna do that. So, I mean, if the board would like to direct me in a different direction, I'm happy to take the board's direction as I work at the pleasure of the board.
What is it that you're asking of the board? I'm not sure we have jurisdiction.
I'm asking that we have an attorney write clear letter that either he gets.
But isn't that something you can do on your own?
I have, and I generally, whenever I spend money on attorney, generally check this. Sometimes I check them like, I generally. As I have. Other. I have one that's going to work now. Or not now, but it will be shortly, and I have another one that probably will. Maybe by the end of the year, both projects we talked about before. I just would like to Mr. Zucker's point, I would like to draw a line. So, we're done. And we can get your special exceptions for those two uses, or you can just stop, and that's fine, stopping is always an alternative. Or you get the opportunity to do it through the approval process, really.
So are you talking about issuing a cease and desist, or are you talking about drafting one more letter which outlines the process to go through?
One more letter outlining the process from the attorney.
But stopping short of a cease and desist.
Stopping short of the cease and desist.
I don't think you need our permission to do that. It's a land use issue.
I appreciate that. It is. I just, after watching that last week, I kind of felt that I had to say something. I did let Jeff know I could do.
Oh, watching Jeff's.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Jeff wants to spend money unnecessarily on getting an attorney. I think he clearly understands what his options are. So for Mike to do the attorney, I think we're gonna just put more wood on the fire. Oh, now we're getting an attorney involved. I think Jeff is very reasonable. I think Jeff came in here to state his case about that it isn't me speeding up and down the road.
I don't think speeding is the issue.
I get that.
It's the land use that's the real issue.
Yep, and I think he agrees to that, that he's no longer gonna, the machine is down, he's taking it down. There's no processing gonna be made, there's no material gonna be in and out of it, he agrees with all that. I thought he said that in this meeting, but maybe he didn't. But I just don't think, I think it's unnecessary to get another attorney involved. I think we should talk to Jeff and say, Jeff, this is what needs to be done. And,
Mike has done.
okay, but he still has, how much time did he give him?
We're past those guys.
Since he got the letter?
Yeah, improve his road. He wants to get any of that money back. Using his pit. You ought to get the special exception, so we can.
Yeah. Because he did put a lot of money in it, and you know, I think, Mike, that he feels too that. After that first incident, that there's a bad taste between these two, to be honest with you. You know, he feels that maybe he's being pointed out because of what happened. And
I think Jeff is a very big boy. Jeff has pretty honest conversations on how can if he wants to have that conversation, everyone have that conversation and really be the guy.
so we're gonna go the other way, we don't need to put an attorney involved and get another letter out, is that what you're saying?
I think at this point, the value of having an attorney is this letter, it outlines but is unclear. I talked with him and asked, did you issue a cease and desist, or are you coming to the board to ask for permission to issue a cease and desist? But he clearly outlined what the process is, because Sly said the best path for Jeff to go is to apply for a special exception or not. But the first time he turns an engine on, if he hasn't applied for it, Mike's gonna get calls. So I think a clear and concise message drafted, whether it's the two Mikes putting it together or we bring the attorney in. Because at some point we need to have a clear message for Jeff. And it doesn't have to be cease and desist. It just says, you and Sly mentioned, he put money into his driveway, his road, whatever. If he ever wants to recoup it, make a special exception. I just think we need to clear it.
Because whoever told him that there was some permission given, it's wrong. And they may have been wrong intentionally. And that's something the judge needs to take up with them. Because for him to believe someone else, so they're gonna call my office, I'm not speaking hell on the phone. If you call and just say, hey, you know, I got permission to bring this material up here, they would have been told no. He wasn't told by the town, they told him they had permission, and he, you know, that's a business decision.
I'm in no position to sit here and speak for Jeff. So
Right, but-
I think I got it.
No, but I mean, that's a business decision that would have been better checked with the town.
I just don't think, all my argument was, do we have enough evidence of, I don't know how many hours that he said he spent up there watching trucks go in and out, watching speeders. I had this, none of that was documented, of him going up there, spending time, sitting up there on the road, watching all this. So all we heard from is Mike, you know, and we're sending him a letter. I guess that's enough. If that's enough, that's enough. But I was clearly told it was a petition. I was clearly told. Then I come back to ask for the petition and there was no petition. And Jeff went there to get the petition too. So We don't have no proof of anybody complaining up that road about Jeff, and it's clearly in his letter. We have no proof about him speeding, and it's clearly in the letter. We have no proof of him making material, and it's clearly in the letter. That's all I'm trying to say, is that I feel that we should investigate a little more before we start getting attorneys and threatening him with all this, when none of this could be occurring.
But we do have proof that some, Mike just told us that he was a recipient of a verbal altercation with someone who came in to complain, so we know that. I think we have to have faith in our department heads to do their jobs correctly, and until proven otherwise, they deserve our support. The speeding, as I mentioned, that's this Joe's opportunity, but in terms of operating a business, if code enforcement says they are, then it's his neck on the line. If he's not telling the truth, then when we get sued, he gets sued individually. So I have a lot of faith in Mike and all of our department heads. We just have to go with that. This doesn't have to be, it can be a well-written, this is the path to take. And if he doesn't take it, and there's no other complaint, he's truly shut down. And that's a decision that he made, but at least he knows there's a path forward.
Complaints on material on the other person's property. From the other person. You said some of the materials on another property.
Encroaching on a neighbor's property, that's.
No,
Is that just?
he has,
getting a little
they
close?
have an agreement.
Oh,
That, for the best of my knowledge, I actually haven't talked to her, but I don't know these about. That we just. So, I will work on another better. I'll do it less the attorney, maybe with their advice, but with the attorney for a whole. And if maybe if Jeff comes in and makes a commitment verbal or a written commitment, it's done, then it's done.
Be honest with you, I thought you could bring in clean fill. The property, so you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a limit.
there's most certainly, the DOT, and then there's, like I say, when you divide them, if you're bringing it in, like they were for a couple of those, single family dwellings, yes, there's a carve out for that. But there's not a carve out, for what he has done over the years, and create that. So, the town has actually used it as. Used to dump material there, different points, until Jeff and I came to the agreement that wasn't gonna happen, right? That wasn't the either. So it's not. Yeah, there's not a lot of issues on this. We're trying to do that. You know, so.
Hopefully he goes on fire.
It's a small, look, it's a small community, we all got, what it boils down to, that, and that's. A selectman I used to work with said it all the time, and it took me a while to really penetrate my head with the saying, what kind of town do I live in? Well, the kind of town we live in where a guy is willing to try to get along for a while until he can't anymore, or do you want to find where the guy just comes in automatically jacked, you're gonna. That's not me, and whether he me, that might have someone else for that. I don't think that's the kind of town we live in.
So it's
It's maybe a compliment. I think that's the guy that.
clean up nice.
Please, perhaps the letter to the others.
He's there. Okay, will do, appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night. The consideration of new business and receipt, highway regulations and payments on covered bridges.
We have Frank Winneberger here from Hampshire DOT District Court. So Frank, come on up and join us in the guest of honor seat.
Oh,
Maybe Chief Joe can get a little closer to you. Frank Winneberger, common spelling.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you.
A lot of ends.
There's a lot of it.
So just to tee this up a little bit, so after our discussion, last meeting, I did find the cover bridge regulations. Which actually there was some detail in there, but it is good timing because they need to be updated in light of the legislative changes. And we talked about kind of separately, but having Frank with DOT and just to help us understand where that is a state road, but a town bridge. Or how that interplay works in terms of signage regulations. We'll try to, I didn't want to keep it narrow a little bit, which is fine. We can talk about the rest of it after, but you could just tell us your understanding of how that interplay works with the state road and the town.
And I guess I'm not quite sure. Again, the maintenance of the bridge would be the town responsibility, the maintenance of the road is ours. Signage, to some extent is through Bureau of Traffic. But I guess I would say if there's additional signage wanting, we have to run it through Bureau of Traffic. Ask them what their take is to make sure that it's meeting compliance for better requirements and so on and so forth. Other than that, I don't know that there's a whole lot that we do towards that. I'm not quite.
I imagine with this new law, there's gonna be some other state highways, covered bridges that are gonna be approaching them for camera signs, because we're gonna have to put up a sign that says it's a video recording.
And I'm not sure what new law you're talking about, so.
They just passed it, right?
Right, so
September 1, or-
yeah, effective September 1st, we can install, or the owners can install on covered bridges, cameras to monitor for damage.
Okay.
And as part of that, we have to have signage, I think, within 100 feet of the bridge.
So I mean, I assume that we would then go to Bureau of Traffic and identify where that needs to be located and where it fits so that it's not either blocking other signs or providing a hazard as far as sight distance out of driveways, so on and so forth. So. Yeah, we're looking both directions, one direction.
I think we'd have to find the this level of direction to that public camera approach.
Yeah, I mean. I guess it sounds like you're, I mean, if you're just looking for an extra sign and you assume that that's the law, then traffic's gonna have to make up some sort of guidelines as far as what they're gonna do as far as that. I don't. If it's telling you how far in front, I'm assuming that we're gonna be limited by that as far as. We're talking near Matthews Road probably, and then somewhere right after the curve, probably, you know. So
Within 100 yards, so you have to be 100 yards, right?
Yeah,
So it could be 50 at the max.
100 feet or 100 yards, so yeah, just, okay, 100 feet, within 100.
Within 100 feet, so we could go before the turn, whatever.
yeah, I don't know you're gonna make it around the curve though, for 100 feet.
100 feet or less, I guess, is what they probably say.
Right. I think some of our other efforts to get more signage have been unsuccessful too, so far.
Yeah, like I say, John, I mentioned it to John, he said that there's been discussions in the past that haven't really gone anywhere, so I'm not. Haven't been privy to those, so I'm not quite sure where we're on with that. I'm trying to look at what's been signage was. Better.
So should we go to Concord?
I mean, I can reach out to Bureau of Traffic and then at this point, we'll probably include. I would say Bill Lambert again, because I don't know what his title is, I'm gonna call him Czar of Safety for lack of better, that's not his exact title, but I can't remember. So he's kind of doing safety, so I don't know if it is safety, but I don't know if it's quite up his alley as far as safety is concerned, but. I definitely think Bureau of Traffic's the one that's gonna determine what signs are approved and allowed. To handle all the signage along the roadway. So, I mean, I can start that conversation and as far as figuring out. As far as what placement, I can reach out and get the sign crew to figure out where they can put the signs and what signs are. Meet the requirements. The new law, but just trying to think for our, around here, we've got Preston. So, yeah, Winchester's got one off of 115, but it's off.
We'll say there can't be many that are on state routes.
I don't think that's the thing. I don't think we have very many on state routes. I think probably our biggest one is. Whichever one goes over the Connecticut, I can't remember the name of it, but it gets hit on a fairly regular basis, so. I'm sure it's got the same issues. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think we have very many on state roads.
They have a real problem because we have to deal with Vermont on the other.
It's not, yeah, put the camera facing one direction and warn them in that direction. Something. Yeah, so I mean, I think, like I said, I don't know that I have a whole lot to give you or no further explanation, but that helps.
Well, another piece on signage that we got some passionate criticism of was the yield on one side and stop on the other. Apparently the yield sign is newer. I think people are
I
saying.
think the yield is up here.
I mean, I don't think there used to be a yield, I think it would be open with a stop sign, I think the correct methodology is to have a yield. I mean, I think it makes sense, but if there's somebody coming to the bridge, you have to stop and let them, I think otherwise people, for whatever reason, are going to assume they can drive forward through the car that's coming through the bridge. Whereas if there's a yield sign, then it's clearly evident that you need to yield to that car that's coming through the bridge.
If it had yield to traffic on the bridge, yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I would assume that's why it was installed, is because otherwise. Yes, I don't know if there's really any, I think if there's a car coming at you, there wouldn't be ambiguity, but I guess without the signage, there's some ambiguity as far as. Whether or not,
It sounds like some people are taking yield meaning to just yield until all the traffic is gone, I think is it. And so then people behind them are getting upset. Versus just having,
One.
yeah, either stop. Or something.
What if we put two stop signs, one on each side?
I mean, I guess we can evaluate that. I think I think the thought process, I'm gonna assume the thought process was that. They picked whichever direction they assume traffic's flowing more and figured to let them keep free flow. Unless they actually have to stop. But
I think you have a twofold effect. One is to slow the traffic down, because you have a stop sign requiring the motorists to stop, then proceed cautiously. I don't think the yield sign being interpreted the correct way is part of the key.
and I can check with traffic. I'll also say, I think. I'm not sure that the yield stop is any clear, but. I think there is some question when you get two stops, does that mean, is it alternating, in which case you go let one car cross and you go one cross? I think with the yield stop, it works a little better as far as. We maybe let one car cross, then a group of cars can go, and you have one more car cross. And so, in general, overall traffic flows better. I mean, ideally, you're gonna platoon traffic across that bridge. One direction and then the others, how you make those platoons work. I think with a stop, it becomes a question of, like I said, are you stopping, you let that car in front of you completely cross the bridge so that somebody on the other side can come back across before you can go. And I think you're gonna find a lot of people, I would think you're gonna find a lot of people that ignore that. Because they don't wanna sit there and wait.
What's it, this one here?
Stop.
Stop on both sides? There's nothing.
Usually people just allow
Nothing.
the next person to go.
Nothing might be the way the exit goes.
That's the town.
Pressing the stop.
I know, but I'm just saying, that seems to work pretty good. You know, people flash you the lights, come on, you know, whoever gets there first goes,
That one
Yeah.
probably gets 10 times the traffic.
that one is. It's 10 times that one? Oh. Oh.
So we talked to traffic.
Again, I can check with traffic and safety as far as, I mean, I know there's a push as part of intersections with changing a lot more to like always stops as opposed to. So I don't know if on a covered bridge, they look at it in the same manner. I can,
Do you want to be involved in the email chatting and everything? And
yeah, I mean, I definitely think that we want to be involved in the district and maintenance side of things, but it's the final decision on signs and also the. I would in general say that in order to put up signs that Bureau of Traffic would be the ones who would install the signs on the state road. So I can say I like them, but I don't think we want stop signs, so that they do those, so.
and then another topic, if we end up putting in a fixed speed sign with a radar flashing thing on. Is that traffic and safety also? Or
I was gonna say, I just had several requests for that, so there is a process through traffic for the town to request the speed, I mean, you're talking the speed feedback sign. So there's a process to go through and an agreement that gets signed between the DOT and the town regarding maintenance and responsibility, and if you decide to get rid of it, then you're responsible for removing all that sort of paperwork, agreement type stuff, so that it covers it. This, basically, the state doesn't install driver feedback signs, so we allow the towns to.
Great. So we can do that on any road, where we foresee that as a problem by working through the bureau.
I mean, I would think so, I mean, it'd be hazardous to say any road, because I think we're getting very close to the point where traffic's gonna start going. We're kind of over. It's the same as any other sign, we get too many of them, then they lose their effectiveness, so, you know.
Those lights flashing at you when you're going 40, coming into a 30, they wake you up wherever you
Again, I think any sort of sign loses effectiveness more, I mean, because you'd say the same thing about a flashing yellow. You think that would signal you there's intersections, but we found that those. I forget what the time frame is, but very quickly drivers tune those out and no longer, but they don't wreck. So I have a feeling if you drive the road every day and you're used to driving 40 through and you basically go, yeah, that thing's gonna flash at me, but I'm gonna ignore it and went 40 regardless. In which case, it's no longer serving its purpose because the drivers purposely ignore it. I'm not saying we won't, but I'm saying, I'd be cautious before I say, yeah, we can throw them up on all our roads and have feedback signs everywhere. Sure. Good. Thank you, Ryan. I don't really have a whole lot.
That's great. You know the direction to go.
Yeah.
You gave us a direction to go. Thank you very much.
Will do.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Have a good night.
All right, we go back.
appointments, solid waste manager Joshua Whipple, assistant solid waste manager Nick Key.
We doing, gentlemen?
So the first thing on the agenda for this is, looking to replace our electric pallet stacker. The current one's from 2012, $6,500. Over the past 5 years, we've put maybe $2,000 worth of work into switches, replace batteries. Now it's got a combination of a bunch of stuff wrong with it. Priced out the batteries because I load test them all, they're all failed. The charging unit failed, and then it needs to switch to the one second fuse now. So we're looking at about $1,300 to repair it, and then if something else would be wrong with it at that point. So I went through, and what we use it for mainly is to move material from the main building out to the warehouse for the scale, whether it's stacking it, moving it, typically stuff that's too heavy for the regular pallet jack. This one picks up 3,000 pounds, And it's got the only real difference is it's 3,000 pounds versus our current one's 2,000. And the lip tight's only 63 inches on this one, so it's a little safer. You put this up 130 inches above your head, worrying about stuff flipping over. It's got 2 batteries compared to 4 for the new one. And comes with a 1-year warranty. It'll give us the ability to drive it out, so oil shedding more safely compared to moving through traffic with a Bobcat. It's got a big peaker tire, so we can actually drive it out back if we need to. Not that we want to do that necessarily, but it'll give us more options of how to use it to avoid getting in traffic with skids here. Lugging something that can tip over like oil. Don't want to tip over 110 gallons of it, so we park. It's got. I did look at pricing on another one from the original company we bought this from in Guilford, New Hampshire, and they got bought out 4 or 5 years ago, and I looked at all theirs, and they don't have any use equipment. It's all part price here. So I didn't even reach out to the salesman for that one. Any of the other ones I looked online that were similar to the one that we had now, were $2-3 grand more, 12,000. I felt that this one, the rough terrain stacker would be a better fit for us over there. The total was $9,999 with an estimated $850 for the shipping, so roughly $10,800 for a brand new one. I think it all sounded a lot better than our current situation.
There's a company.
Global Industrial, so I think we're at New Jersey. Yes.
So I noticed in these pictures, you got some of these steps are 3 high. And does the new one go to 3 high? Can you start 3 high with the new one?
No, that's
So is that gonna affect the room that you have, that you can't stack 3 high?
No, because anything that need to go that high would need to be out in our storage container for the Bobcat.
The Bobcat does this too.
Yes.
It's a box for that.
Yep. So yeah, we can stack stuff if we need to 3 high up there. We actually are trying to get away from that because we ran into an issue with our 2 plastic bales. Came in one morning, bottom one blew out, all the wires broke because it's been sitting there for 2 years, sitting on it for so long.
But wait, you mean it blew the bottom one out?
Oh, yeah, so then.
Yeah, because they look kind of rocky when I was there.
Yeah.
You know, they get a little, because of the plastic and they get rocky, so.
In how long they sit, because we
I
sat on
noticed that.
that should be for probably about 1.5 to 2 years, so over time, the wires just end up giving up, and that's why we try to stuff more than we have to, so it doesn't do that, so we spend a good, 6 hours picking up 800 pounds of plastic. So we try to avoid that if we can, so we're trying to shift and move some more stuff outside and just double stack stuff inside. And changing how we wire it, so we're adding 2 wires on the ends now. So kind of a pilot program to see if that'll help in disasters like that. So,
We'll just get rid of the old one, right? No, we
yeah.
hang on to it.
I mean, we could probably try and put on the municipal bid. So I don't know what's big, but
But it still works.
yeah, if the stuff on it gets replaced, we can just put that.
I would imagine the tires are a big bonus for you guys, so you can go out a little and drive it better than
Yeah,
the tires that are on the other one, right?
yeah, and the other ones we've replaced 3, 4, 5 times maybe, because it's got 2 rear ones sitting in the back, main drive wheel that has brakes and all the pads for that, and it has 2 straddle legs with the wheels on it. So it's 5 different tires, 1 with a nail stop with that thing. So what I would imagine with the bigger tires, you don't have to worry about that. But typically, we keep it pretty well swept in.
Those air tires, are they solid?
Solid.
Solid,
Yeah.
so we don't have to worry about
Yeah,
flats.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they look like they got air in them. By the
Yeah.
picture, but
Yeah.
they're not.
No, and I actually did some research on replacement tires, and they don't have the exact ones, but I can get some that are a little more durable. I think they're 3,000 or 4,000 pound caster tires, but they still look rubber, and it's a polyurethane like that. Current stackers, so should be able to smooth the backups if we need to. But I don't intend to drive that side of that, being probably the parking lot would be the extent of the moving, so.
I got you.
like our light bulb vendor, they have a property for our box truck. So we usually go off that, and just put. Not that easiest thing to balance without a problem. So this would be a more sturdy way to get it on the truck and hold them, so they don't have to give us labor truck. So.
We'll take this up now and we dealt with it and say, you know what, we need one of these, that would happen, that this is it.
So I don't know if we can separate the batteries,
Got it.
replace the charging unit after that, so.
And it is in the CIP plan for this year, so
Yes.
it is on plan and maybe. More than 15,000, so.
Oh. I couldn't remember, yeah, so.
Do you think it'd be worth talking to the manufacturer about any replacement set of wheels? It's gonna be.
I looked at the manufacturer website, I didn't see, but I can always shoot an email and see.
You know, it'd be ideal if you bought it,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, if you give them $10,000.
couldn't hurt to have a second.
These wheels we might get more life out of, but if you look at them, these ones look like they're gonna last a lot longer than the other ones, right?
Yeah, and
They look more durable and
I think the bearings probably failed for the actual tire itself.
that's right.
And it does look like you can pop out and put a new bearing in it, but they
Yeah.
didn't really have very many good pictures of it. Up close like that.
Is it hydraulic or chain? What is it? Is it
Battery power,
just battery?
so that's just.
Oh, no. The back with the wheel in the center.
Yeah, and right now the 130 inch, we used to set 3 high out back to that, and you can't see over the second, so there's really no need for any of it. He's standing there. have some-
Safer.
And it's you're protected more. And stuff.
500 on it, maybe 11.5 and see if you can get
Feedback.
at least maybe some of the tires. I imagine the driveway would probably go first.
Yeah, yeah, because those are pretty rugged rear tires, because it's one single rotating one, so it's got I think it's 6 inches wide, and it's got the brakes attached to it, so it's all with it. And since we've had the current one, we've replaced the brakes once, and who knows if somebody did it before it follow, but that was some time.
Yes, but
Would there be any concerns about a spare set of tires drying out or anything prior to use?
oh, solid, so. We can stick at 11 if you want.
I can almost just offer you, but
It's, make sure we can get off this.
yeah.
Be terrible to have this thing go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Up to you, what do you think?
Let me use the operating button. But I think
I'll make it go to 11.
Second. Okay, motion made and seconded, but authorizing $11,000 for the site work done on Alan's Saturday. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Presentation, John. Good job. You had all your ducks in the forest. Thank you.
So, yeah, I think you had a second skid steer. In the budget. Is that-
Ideally, yeah, but I don't support that this year. Cause I still want to do, I have an upcoming area, the glass area, but get the replacement blocks, the same 4x4 concrete. Planes, I think that's played on blocks with graves, estimating that to be about 25 blocks. So the right side would be single high, back side would be double, and the closest to the front gate would be double, just to hide it, but we can't see it from the north when they come in. And then just to shelter, but then we can slow the order. I estimate 30 tons there, so that's what they're for shipping, so once we fill it, it's off, and then we get out, just rotating it out like that.
What are you working with now? Like how much storage do you have now?
not much, and it's probably back of it.
You gotta get up to how much to get them to come?
30 times. For that vendor, and the other vendor, it's wait. The reason why they want it's a free facility, so they make fire a lot of stuff out of it. But that's one of those things that's gonna be scheduled probably over the next. Right by end of September, I'm gonna try and ship that out and have fresh.
Without filling out, big a piece of property.
Yeah, and it just looks like that.
Yeah, I know, right, for the,
They have. So I want to save some money for that. Security, into, I definitely. I'm thinking I'm gonna do $7,000 or so, save a good chunk of money with that. And ideally, the second Bobcat would have been beautiful this week, because we were doing some preventive maintenance on ours and went to do a hydraulic change, I flipped the cap up, and one of the main hydraulic lines from the drive motor to the cooling motor in the back, had a nice pinhole in it. Wasn't spilled out yet, but it was getting out, so we cut that out of service for now. We've got the road crew's gonna come to replace that, do a hydraulic swap, because it might be part of the warranty, not the warranty, so. I rented one from Ace just to get us through this week, and so just having the second bottom, I'd say was rented this out. And so ideally, I'd like to do that maybe early next year, hopefully. And we got a track meet this time. I don't know, since that was my original plan, and I've tried on this one so much, I don't know if I really want to deal with that. Because if we need it for back, if we can't turn, it's easy, not to track it off, it's a whole different drive system, so. I think our best bet might to be just stick with solid tires, for both of them, get it interchange, or one of those set up for service instead of rushing through to get that one before, so. I think having the two of them would be a stack up, and even just doing the cooling flush was meeting the other day, because playing loosened up, so we were losing cooling all day long. I was able to put another strap on to hold it for now, and we got a replacement hose to be through, but then that's another couple hours of redraining down, replacing a hose, so it'll save us a bunch of headaches and not have to plan around shipments, whether a truck's coming in, have to wait till the day after, or somebody else comes in sometime unloaded, so.
what make is that one of them?
Yep. Yeah, and we've had them for years, really reliable, I like to stock up on the maintenance parts, so I have all filters for it all. Fluids and everything, so it'd be on the change points of having a cat and a bobcat, but they're completely different parts, oils, everything, so it's. I've had pretty good luck with them, they're easier to work on, everything's great. So I'm good with those. Right.
Do they do the, melody about cat, like, what we got, the caterpillar?
Then we get a grant from.
New Hampshire for that. And how we pay it out up front, that saves 70 bucks and saves us 2,000 to 3,000 just for writing a check and paying it off. So it could be up to 9,000 we can save just by doing all that, so. That's something I can get prepared this one for the grant paperwork, and then have it ready for springtime looking, so. Maybe the town budget pass and get through all that first. Yeah, but get in work, so. Department update, I think I've been working pretty much the whole summer on replacing signs and getting new signs out. And we've been making most of them in-house just to save some money on the capital reserve signs. We can put more money towards the bobcat and stuff like that. So the whole plan is to have everything bright red and yellow, so you can't miss it. You can see it from dumpsters. So when we point it back, it's not the green bit. This is not. It's forced. container, so you can see it from space pretty much without having made the C&D bit one, so. Still got a few to go, still wanna separate out the rubble pile a little more with ceramics for the concrete all separate. So we might be able to save money next time, and just clean brush and extend it out, so instead of 5 years, we could do it in 7 or 8, I don't know how much we do over the next couple of years, but. And then the brick could be recycled, porcelain could be recycled, it's all a matter of finding a vendor. If they need a certain amount, how much, or what their standards are for it. So we've been working on that, we still got a few to go. We've been going around putting investment management practices from DES around everywhere, so waste oil goes consolidate with how to deal with oil filters, we use oil, characteristics, cool, to look for, because there's so many colors of it. Right now, we're the only ones that deal with that, because it's such a, it's gotta be exact waste oil, because if you put something bad in, screw the burner, it turns into a whole process, so the whole point of putting signs in there is to help educate if we want to put somebody else on the duty for pouring out the waste oil, or help investments with it.
So if somebody shows up, you basically go there and watch it get poured in,
No, we set it on the side. And we'll take
then
care
you
of it.
go,
Yeah.
it's mixed with whatever, you know.
Yeah, and even the painting freeze going into the oil, it's sort of burn or blow the filters out, so. Pretty fickle machine, but it works good. So really, quality of the oil is important for that. Just touched on the rubble area for the signs and separation. When we had the rubble pile crushed in June, DPW helped us to transfer it over by the burn pit where it's fine resting spot. So it was all really nice, crushed concrete to about 1.25 to 2 inch, probably. Yeah, right about that. So it's built up around the backside of the burn pit now, probably 6-7 feet. It's all level, so everything's not gonna flow down there. Instead, it's gonna all drip down towards the infiltration basin now. So any water that's discharging out into the road or off the facility, it's either going to the rain garden, like the back gate, or the infiltration basin down in the compost pile. And that ties into our stormwater management programs that seals that up. So nothing's leaving the facility in there, which is good. And even just regular runoff, it's all in the bottom. So. Employee training, we've done. I mean, everybody 54 3/4 hours of training, so that's a good show of how much the works. We've had 2 people in the break room, one in the office, and safety training, so we're having 3 people that have considered training at one in the office for the 54.5 hours. Everybody's got all their certification hours, we're just finishing up the last safety hours. And then I told all them we'll keep rolling the can to the extra training, so and that'll help with decisions or what community facility will be able to know I watched fire extinguisher training for free on training, so it kind of helps to better serve residents in that aspect of it. I've done 21 CUs for wastewater, and then on 16.25 hours out of my mandatory 225 that I have to get within a year. Starts out at 450, but solid waste will account for 50% of it. And then the 225 hours has to be under certified operator. I've been working with Kurt from WSO. He's been very patient and great with that. So I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for them. The lift station around Spring Street, and then just a variety of different paths. It's always different tests. Or we had a gas meter training the other day because we were at the lift station from the compressors to relief valve. And as soon as I was the safety guy talking, as soon as he put his foot on the ground, his meter started going off. So he explained what was happening, what caused it, how they're basically forcing air down about the circulating pressure and everything, so they can go down and support them. Some really interesting stuff and getting plenty of different experience with it. Until June 2025, so. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Don't brag about that, George, I was thinking.
Yeah.
He's way
Do
behind,
80 hours Christmas.
but it's 25, okay.
Yeah. So I think what I averaged it out for was if I did just 5 or 6 hours a week, that would give me the year, but the quicker I get done, the quicker I can do it on a per week, instead of being under a certified operator, I'll be certified at that point.
That is Nick going on at the same pace as you.
He's going into December exam. They only do it twice a year. You know, we were talking about doing some of the pre-test training courses, because it was very helpful, but still wasn't enough, so I kind of wish I did more before, because. I think I
You'll
got-
get a scenic trip to Franklin too.
Yeah.
I've been to Frank.
As you know, it's quite the drive.
Don't stay at the hotel in town,
Oh, no, I commute each day.
maybe Concord.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So I'm hoping beginning of the year, or the beginning of the year to. Then, because I've been talking to her, going to Franklin Peterson out there, I'll push into the air. Talked to Joe about going to the facility, doing contract there, something that. Then, Joe and I are actually going to a conference in Henniker, remember, I believe. If I'm field day, water testing, so. it'll be- I think that gets me team 8. So, it'd be a good chunk of training for that. We've got a whole thing that we should do. Last year, our waste management contract started. So probably this winter, I'll be in contact with Roy about negotiations for the next contract, whether hopefully trying to get a 5-year. I'm gonna have him give me a quote on the time glasses for one, and then try to gain instead of us paying to go all the way to Canada 30 times, so we can send them. And that's all dependent, it'll help out our contract overall. Or, just go through the market and use them to help us out and find a different contract.
Time for the negotiation. 6 months.
Oh, yeah, because I don't wanna feel like it's not a good time right now. So, I'm gonna do a little more research with our new vendors coming into this area more and more. The sell about that one. Forget. what they're trying to work with, but we can do, so keep efficient future and. This way. So if we get it, end up with a 3-year contract, it may. We can stop quickly, move on this way, I know that's their intention. Things that benefit us in the future is actually be able to do a real RFP. Instead of just having one.
That'll give you leverage for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly, and so. To make them want to play a little more ball. Any questions? A lot of information's out.
I get a compliment, I went over there and you guys are really good with your customers, the people that come in there. Direct them, I thought it was really good show that you guys did over there.
We did some great.
So that's all I have to input that, my wife went over there and, you know, you feel like you can ask, you know, where do I go with this, where do I go with that without being burdened?
Yeah,
A lot of places that you go, you feel like a burden, you guys don't make that feeling. And I compliment you both on that.
got some great people, that's for sure.
You did. You got a good crew over there and you're doing a great job.
Anything to add, Nick, or are things still pretty?
Oh, good. Yeah, I just want to add about the training, 54.5 hours. There's also training that I do that's, separate from that in the aspect of batteries, light bulbs like that, with our employees. And like John just said about getting people into oil and stuff like that, I'm kind of slowly doing that with those things as well. Just with batteries, they're pretty nasty. Like a 9-volt battery in your junk drawer, you don't think much of it, and it's actually super hazardous. So just training about what to do about that, how to dispose of it properly. And then different batteries going to different locations, and the same thing with light bulbs. They all have to be separated, stored properly, and labeled and everything like that. So I've been working with them as well in that way. It just doesn't get like credits, in that sense, but like we've been doing a lot of training throughout. I even did the safety thing. I did the safety thing with batteries in the break room. Yeah, so just again, that building has done so much for us. It's really incredible. Just like Josh said about, we are able to do a couple of people training at a time, and that ends up saving so much time for everybody. So it's been really good. I'm hoping to be a part of the CIPC here pretty soon, get added to that, and kind of start doing that stuff. And I'm also working on different recycling markets in the sense of like scrap metals. So there's different pricing for everything from a compressor to a motor. And I've figured out that there's like even video games and stuff like that, the consoles, they have a much higher price than just regular electronics. And if you were to separate those out, we can actually make money on electronics, and help offset some costs through that way. So things like game consoles, cable boxes, cell phones, satellites, receivers, routers, servers, MP3 players, things like that, we can start to kind of put them in their own box. And then once there's enough in there, you can send them out and, instead of paying 900 or whatever for a container, we can, get it drop down to 600, depending on how much weight we have in the boxes. So that just help offset costs just by, just doing this one thing. And then also the motors I brought up. I'm starting to take ceiling fan motors, just those, because they're big, easy to get to, and they have a much better pricing than just throwing them in the scrap metal. It's like light iron. So yeah, those are a few things I've been working on.
What takes a 9-volt battery, so that's.
Because the poles are together at the top instead of like a positive and a negative being on two ends, they're right next to each other. So in theory, a paper clip could bridge that gap and then set a tissue on fire in your junk drawer. And yeah, there's a YouTube video. Some gentleman's a safety guy, and he's big on safety, makes safety videos. Half of his house was burned down from a 9-volt battery. And like the training when people learn that, it's, wow, this is like, yeah, this is serious, and you just think it's just not a battery.
Yeah. We'll make sure I keep the is there a way to educate people with this through Swanzey and Covered or pamphlets at the recycling center?
That's like the BMPs, the best major practices that we put up at the battery shed and stuff, do have that information in there that's available, to read. I do tell like when
But
I
it
do,
gets to people after they've already dumped it in there, but unless they see it, it's in the trash.
right.
So how can we get ahead of it?
I think a lot of people are recycling batteries. I go through thousands, like probably thousands of batteries a week. So I think a lot of people are doing the right thing. But yeah, it's just education. So, if I guess the only way I could do that would be to, rip open the bag, and if I find a battery and explain to them, what I just said about 9-volts being so dangerous. Like lithium batteries are a whole other level. Once those things get out, they don't go out. So probably Swanzey Uncovered would be a good way to go about that. But also us just having information readily available where you put your batteries, would help as well. Because some people just are trying to do the right thing, I've gotten a coffee can, metal coffee cans full of just 9-volt batteries and everything, you know, it's just like,
Yeah,
they're trying to do the right thing, but it's also, you know, just educating. It's when you can, it's tough because Swanzey uncovered, you know, it goes out to everybody, it doesn't mean everybody reads it, you know, so I just try to do it as I go. You know, any chance I get, and when someone comes in and asks what I'm doing with them, and, you know, just explain, tell them the whole spiel about safety and dangerous it can be.
Garrett?
If you want to, you can submit PSAs on MassDOT's website with information and pictures, and then I'll go through it, sure it looks good, and I'll go on our website. And also put it on the cable channel. You can come and shoot like a little PSA video sometime. Like that. When I reach out to back to me, the fact that he's kind of, you know, about it or something like that.
Okay,
Then you guys can take the video and put it on your website.
yeah,
okay, awesome.
okay, cool, thank you.
Anything further? Boris, any questions about the burn pit?
Can't wait till it's gone, that's all I have.
What's going on?
Actually, we're still waiting on our burn permit.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I guess,
You don't need that.
no,
It's gonna go quick because that stuff's all.
oh, yeah. Well, I started digging into that side file.
Yeah.
That side pile, and there was probably 6 feet of compost from all the leaves driven down. So I'm glad I didn't have to push in the pit because that would have been a spark sure, but, I guess I was talking to Chief and he was saying that the fire wardens move the people around or something, and the one for our region is from out west, you know, something like that, so she's going around inspecting the sites and still waiting, so hopefully that person will follow and solve it regardless, that way, so. But I do have it set up, I've got burn barrels down there, and then, the pile's really not as big as it looks now, just because of moving it around, jostling it, so. All the pine leaves have all the bark off it, it's all composted down, so it shouldn't take long to go, that's for sure.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
No,
So we'll go to the new business postal delivery issue of payments.
So it came to our attention, last week, I guess, that the post office seemed to be handling mail differently. That was addressed to kind of one of the 620 highway. Put it in our PO box. It seems like previously was happening. Was getting returned back to people. Some of which taking about a month or so for it to get back to them. So in the meantime, they have accrued some interest more than the $5 that the tax collector is currently authorized to waive. So they're a little upset about it, understandably. So I wanted to bring this to the board's attention, which I think it already kind of has got your attention, but just discuss how to handle this specific issue, and then also kind of brought the opportunity of Kevin brought to my attention that the tax collector can waive, the board authorizes up to $25 instead of the 5 he had been doing. So that would give him a little bit more flexibility moving forward. Does not necessarily solve all the some of the more than that. But as we all know, $5 doesn't buy what it used to, so 25 would give him a little more flexibility for those that are just a little bit late.
What's your thoughts on that?
Can you explain to me again?
Basically, right now, the tax collector can forgive up to $5 for the minor discrepancies, interest, things like that. The new law that the state allows up to $25. So if we change our policy, the tax collector that uses discretion forgive up to $25.
Doesn't say much.
That's all they allow. So
Right. I don't see a problem with that. Kevin,
It would also allow them to just apply overpayments under $5 to their next bill instead of trying to come and check. No, that's different. So that is the overpayment part is still fine. But the refund is, or the, interest waiver.
Need a motion to that?
It could be good. Or either way, yeah.
Consensus on the side of this.
Yeah.
So with regard to the current situation. How many do we know of that were returned and then got the late?
Kevin estimated under 10.
Something like $50, I guess.
Yes.
Consensus on those or?
That would be fine. Yeah, either way. Once we get the general direction, we'll type up the individual ones for the meeting. Right. So, yeah,
I think in this particular instance, we know. I went and talked to the new postmistress and Becky Sprightly. And it was just a case where she came in, there was a backlog, and they brought in some temporary help. And what normally would have got put into our post office box got returned. So I think we should, have we done that? Have we forgiven it for these 10
Nope,
people?
that's what we're asking.
That's what we thought.
So that's gonna be next week. I also think we talked, we should do something more proactively to encourage people to use the PO box for mailing. Which I know you're already working.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Bill. I was gonna talk about that after the dispatch.
Sorry about that, Mike.
But it did say that you still have at least 6 of them said highway in case they overnight by FedEx. That's still.
So I don't know, I'll put the PO box first. If that would help. I think at least in one of the cases, someone was using like the bill paying function through their bank. They tried to list both, but it was picked up first. So there are going to be some that fall into the cracks, but we can eventually check the bill.
Sounds like it's up, and the judge, we're going there, back in the post.
We would have to stop. Should I say? Here. Oh, wait. Sorry about that, next week. Next
Well, no, I mean, we can do
Consensus on.
consensus now, and then we'll get them tagged up for, to be signed up.
Sound good?
Sounds good in there.
Yeah,
And then-
consensus.
Excellent. And then on the bill, is that we'd like to do, list the PO box first. Do you think that's?
I think that's just my way,
I
but
don't think there's ways that, post, like, in terms of how it's supposed to be.
Maybe on the bill, you could just eliminate that 620 with instead highway. For the purposes of this. And
Maybe we can put the physical address over here,
Yeah.
put the hours.
And what's Swanzey tax increment finance district?
So I know these gentlemen are familiar with TIF districts, but I don't want to assume you are, we can just connect, so Safford Drive for the industrial markets. The town's designated that as a TIF district in the late 90s, early 2000s. So what it does is you take a part of the town and you pick out properties, you make a district. And whenever anything gets, the value increases in that area, it goes towards infrastructure projects. So in that case, it was the road, it was the sewer, water, you know, if it went towards the power. It's about anything with the road, water, and sewer, maybe some of the other.
She was your one pre-phased part of business. Basically, you build out the infrastructure, take them on. The improvements that hopefully come. Paid off.
So that one's about ready, especially with the reval, it's about ready to retire its debts. So unless we decide we want to do other projects in the district, probably close it out. And then the value that we built will go towards overall assessment and then lower the rate, just like other increases in assessment. So it seems like we got piled up a list of different possible infrastructure projects in the West Swanzey Route 10 area. So my suggestion is that we think about setting up a similar district in that area, which could go eventually towards the water company acquisition improvements, could potentially go towards the sewer system improvements. Brown Memorial Field, we wanted to incorporate that, sidewalks, the corridor improvements, Butler School, we got a lot of potential things upcoming in that area. So my thought is to get, what if the district gets approved, you have to have a board with, I think at least half of the people have to either live in the district or own property in the district. So let's get some of those folks involved on the front end with a committee to work over the next few months to review it and see if they think it makes sense. Properties don't get taxed more if they're in it. It's kind of a misconception. You don't get taxed more. It's just when the value increases, it goes towards properties. It's not like an additional tax. I know Sly mentioned, we talked to him about it, that the idea of a precinct or district for the water companies, that's this version of the way to do that. The rate payers can use increased values to go to. We have a few projects that have been approved that haven't been constructed, those could kind of be starting point. You know, I again, add to the increment. So, kind of like the form of a savings. You can either save up and then do stuff, or you can do a bond and then that's things, values.
Pretty much what we did on Saturday, right?
And we expanded it, right, to include some of the airport.
Yes,
properties.
yeah, that was the boundary works.
So we wouldn't be tied to just what we decide here. I think that we see something just outside of it. Absolutely.
So what do you think of that? Is this just informational?
Informational, get your consensus, if it seems worth pursuing, we could bring it to EDAP to see what they think, or planning board. Or we could just start soliciting interest for a committee from the groups, I think someone could do that. Planning board. There. What people think, or we can start to solicit interest.
Next question. You know, some folks are removing properties from the tip district.
They're talking about moving it from the industrial, so they're zoning purposes.
So, but their role, they're building are there any limitations, when you have a tip district, are there any limitations to the properties that are within that scope? In terms of if they want to leave, or, I'm just curious about the, and other people are curious about the limitations. Are there?
I think they're confusing the district versus the industrial zone. I don't think they're in the same boundaries. I think those, because those are houses in the industrial zone. I think that they're talking about removing those from the industrial.
You're doing,
Changing the zoning.
Yeah.
but there, again, the question is, are there any limitations in the tax district?
Properties within the tip district, and they're just subject to the same, whatever zoning they were in.
Oh, so there's no.
The only change is if their value increases or decreases, it goes towards these projects.
And you did list, you know, think that water, sewer, were all reducers.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
Something I did.
Yeah, I mean, I included some of the kind of sample information from the Office of Energy and Planning. I think that's what it's called anymore, but that's still. So, and the example they use has that similar. Some of well, that one too, but I think they just had like hypothetical too. Yeah, it's a small town in northern New Hampshire has an exciting vision for renovating its historic downtown. The general revenue bond will be used to renovate the town hall. Sewer and water rates will be increased. Those funds will pay for upgrading downtown utilities. The CDBG grant will be used to turn old building into low water income housing and daycare. Land and water conservation funds will be used to create new downtown river parks. Not so all that, but kind of along the same lines, just trying to partner some of these different items together. think they're, sure. You're on the quiet over there. Secretary, so
Digesting it.
you don't have to, there's no time sensitivity, really, just if you want to try to do it for this year, you just. want to- You want to sleep on
The Sanford
You
Drive,
first step would be trying to build it.
the Sanford Drive, didn't have anybody living. So
it? Well, Gary Davis represented
the fair, right,
Yeah, their boards.
Bob Furlong was on.
Property. I think they met the, when they were more active, and then it got to be that it wasn't really active.
well, better chance there, it's probably gonna get replied.
Right.
Good.
Mr. Chairman. Sure. On the agenda, there was reference to an expenditure for security cameras.
We didn't get the bill,
We're not gonna do it.
we didn't get the
We
invoice.
didn't get the info, so.
Oh,
Well, I guess.
I would reply that they'll.
Any old business to speak of?
When will we have, the fire chief there? Feel that there's some reason that they do for an update, but I think we might want to think about getting an update. It's been, what, how many months since we started that? 2 months, 3 months, and I think we decided it would be 3 months, and maybe sooner.
They were in. Yeah. Month or so, maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think maybe you're right. So
They talk about the events.
I think we said that we want to make it steady updates, see how they're moving. Right? I was just bringing it up to see it, to bring them back in.
There's a meeting tomorrow night at 6:30.
Oh, the committee,
The committee,
station committee.
yeah, the committee, yeah.
Anything to report on that front? We have two of the, we had three of the members.
Did any of you guys go to the Westmoreland? Okay. You both did?
Yeah.
How many people went?
Not even-
That many? Everybody just drove on their road and went there?
That's right.
Oh. I hear you guys are doing a hell of a job, that's what I heard. You're moving along.
They're moving along.
I read the agenda of the last meeting, it looked good.
How was the tour?
It was good. I mean, it's nice to see a sizable, roomy, firehouse. You can actually walk around the trucks and do things. And, you know, I mean, it's, you know, pretty bare bones. But it's there for what? And chief is very proud of it. He's saying, no, I don't know.
Was it a metal building? Not great. Sick building.
What did that come in on?
To the top high, 2.43.
How much?
2.43.
They had 70 grand left over. They're doing so. How many days?
Oh, how many days? 3 days, that'll be
600 square feet. About half the size, 600 square feet, 6,500.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the size. The doors, I know the doors are 14 by 14.
Good.
Probably, what was the difference?
500 square feet, which is about half the size of the
Okay,
fire station that Swanzey proposed the last time.
half.
About.
No, we weren't. I don't think we were the 12, the first one was 12,000. Actually, the first one was 10,000, I think it went to 12,000. Then it went down. It was 8 or something.
Someone says to me 8,
Maybe
it's
it
a
went
lot.
down to 10 less.
Theirs is about 6,500.
Straight of update?
Well, just to jump back, we kind of, when we were with Frank, just to go back to the highway regulations, so we got some suggested, I think it's on ordinance, so with the board's, support, I'd like to work with Chief Joe, and non-Chief Joe on updating those regulations and then schedule a public hearing.
Mainly updating fine amounts.
Fine amounts, add in the provision on cameras, even if we won't have it. Still. We'll see that once we want to.
Yes, you're fine, is that right?
Just one comment, I read that briefly before I came, and I personally think the finance are pretty minimal.
That was the highest they could be.
Really,
Until the laws, but now the laws been changed, so now they can be up to. So much more significant.
1,000, 2,000, right?
I think after, you know.
I think the problem's been out there for a long time. I think the way to go, really take care of it is by having, sizable fines and if possible, maybe not in sums, but if possible, have those posted with those fines. If they can, they have to go. 200 or 300 for first occurrence, and you can hire the person. Sometimes this guy to stop it, and if they got money, put it into the fund, and you need a new police station or something.
It doesn't work that way.
Actually, these, I believe we did, it's the local ordinance. I think we actually.
Yeah, so I personally would,
don't want
I mean, the main thing is with the cameras to get somebody's insurance to pay for the repairs to the bridge.
Mhm.
So, I can see if they hit the bridge and stop, that's one incident, so that's 500. If they back up and hit it again, that's makes it to 1,000.
the camera is the sure.
The camera's gonna have to be able to get plate numbers.
Yeah, that's all I do. And that's what I'm saying. The state law was that we couldn't identify vehicles by plate number
Oh, that's what.
with a camera.
Oh, so we could add a camera, but we couldn't just use it as.
If you, yeah.
We couldn't afford any of that. We couldn't afford, so
These fines, totally not that, right? Not just like,
Not just for damage.
huh?
Not, they're not just for
It's
damage.
just for going over, yeah. And then a trailer, things like that.
So Joe, when you had your gentleman up there, did they report anybody going overweight? Did they get to see anybody trying to go over it, or did they stop people from going over?
There were more legal stops, some were vehicles with trailers. And others were speeding.
You did get some of the speed. Now, they, most of the time they stood on the other side of Matthew's side, right? Where did they park? On Matthew's side?
Where they are.
Well, where were they
Wrong
wrong?
locate their location, they all have a specific area that they like, some are up Sawyer's Crossing, others are around the bridge.
Oh,
I saw Sergeant Naquin in the parking lot by the bridge. So. Whether that's gonna be all right.
I know we're talking about the signs and stuff. I know the sign on the Matthew Road, Sawyer Crossing, right? It says nothing until it's on Sawyer Crossing, right in front of the bridge. So you've already made the left-hand turn. Doesn't give anybody any warning. So that's why they end up back up or they end up deciding to drive through. I don't know if you have it. It's now sign on Tuesday. I don't know if you have your permission to take that one off, put it on Matthew Road. It was the town on that road. Or just put another one up so that people don't make the turn already.
Sign company, we have a lot of us.
Correspondence.
Just the, color blocking.
Public input.
I know that 2 weeks ago, the chief had said that, well, at least we thought he said it. Had was in the FTO program still with somebody. I just wondered if you wanted to contact the chief and see if you're here. If she's still in the FTO program.
No, she's graduated.
Okay, but last week or 2 weeks ago, he said she was still in.
She's graduated.
Okay.
How's this sheriff coming?
You two are in charge of it. You're supposed to study it. What's that?
We really want new chairs?
Discussing the
These
lack
are
of
many
comfort.
more
Oh,
These are no more.
I know this, well, they are more acceptable, but still.
All these kids suck.
Yeah, not all, heck of a lot.
Kind of scared me when we looked at the price of the tables.
The hospital order, the prices still apply. If you said you have a restaurant catalog.
I'll still get it, I'll bring it in next time.
Do that,
I'll
or
look at it.
do that, or call me and we'll meet somewhere.
If you would come in for dinner, you would discuss it with you then.
Good for them.
Yeah, here's an offer to the board.
Yeah, actually, I think doesn't the restaurant need on chairs?
I just bought them, 500 of them.
Hey, somebody,
So you have no meeting next week. If you want to meet at my property at 3 o'clock, we can go and make a tour of those time. We can talk about chairs, we can do whatever you want. That's an open office to the board. I think we all have my text. My phone.
We do.
So give that some thought, if you don't, I could be taking right here and now.
I can't commit right now.
check out that data motion to go.
I mean, but, under,
What do you want to wait?
B for hire.
Under B,
Motion made, seconded.
Carrie Winston.
Aye.
Come on. Investment.
That's one way to wait. Wait.
Good night, Mark.
bye, good night, Mark. Good night, Mark.
Come on, Garrett. It's a lot.